2022, the carbon emissions caused by tropical forest loss were equivalent to India's annual emissions. Deforestation is a huge part of the climate problem. That means that there is no way to get to net zero without action on deforestation. Almost all of the financial institutions that we assess are at risk of missing their own climate pledges because they are not acting on the deforestation caused by the companies they loan or invest in. That's the bad news. And now here is the good. It doesn't have to be this way. Deforestation is a solvable crisis. The Forest 500 annually assesses the 350 companies and 150 financial institutions most at risk of driving tropical deforestation on the strength and implementation of their policies on deforestation, conversion, and the associated human rights abuses. Financial institutions can use that data to analyze how the organizations they finance are performing on those issues, and it enables them to engage with those companies and demand change. The asset management company Schroders has been in the Forest 500 every year since 2014, and that means it is one of the financial institutions with the greatest ability to influence deforestation. In 2021, Schroders scored just 4% for its publicly available actions to eliminate deforestation from its portfolios. But fast forward to this year's assessment, and it now scores 50%, making it the top performing financial institution that we assess. Clearly, if the top performing financial institution still scores just 50%, there is still a long way to go. But Schroders' progress over the last year shows that change can happen at speed. Financial institutions at the very beginning of their journey need to set strong commitments on deforestation. And those that already have them in place need to start implementing them if deforestation is to be eliminated by 2025.
For years, data barriers have been highlighted as a reason for not acting. In 2023, where deforestation is concerned, that is no longer the case. Indeed, data on tropical forest loss is the most comprehensive in the nature space, and it can be a vital resource helping financial institutions to act. Trase has mapped 70% of the global trade in forest risk commodities like beef, soy, palm oil, pulp and paper, and cocoa. It is the world's most comprehensive database on this trade, linking consumer countries and traders with places of production. Trase can identify exposure to deforestation, as measured in hectares of deforestation in specific localities. This detail allows banks and investors to see which of their holdings are exposed to high-risk regions and commodities. Company exposure can be ranked and compared across geographies, and this data can be used to directly engage and drive change. For instance, Trase data on Brazilian soy has identified the companies most exposed to soy-linked deforestation in Brazil. It shows that 95% of Brazil's soy deforestation comes from fewer than 15% of the whole country's soy-producing regions. So a financial institution can check where a company sources soy from and use that data to determine engagement strategies.
The finance sector can lead the world when it comes to shifting financial flows towards nature-positive outcomes. At the moment, the 150 financial institutions identified as part of Forest 500 provide $6.1 trillion in finance to companies in forest risk supply chains. That level of capital gives them real leverage over the companies they loan to and invest in. The data enabling financial institutions to act on deforestation is already out there. Now, for the first time, Forest IQ brings together the most credible and accurate data sets on market-driven deforestation into one place. Covering thousands of companies, Forest IQ uses data from sources including Forest 500, Trase, ZSL Spot, and RSPO. It covers deforestation, conversion of natural ecosystems, and associated human rights abuses. With both the EU and the UK government considering extending due diligence laws to include financial institutions, the time for action is now. With banks and investors facing increased financial exposure, Forest IQ is the dedicated data source to manage risks. It's been developed in consultation with and tested by financial institutions. It can transform the landscape, helping to halt and reverse deforestation this decade.
To halt and reverse deforestation, we need action from the finance sector, and we need action now. The good news is that there is a suite of practical and scalable guidance showing different types of financial institutions how to achieve deforestation, conversion, and human rights abuse-free portfolios. There's the Finance Sector Roadmap, a 6-phase guide detailing the steps and tools that financial institutions need to change. The Finance Sector Deforestation Action Initiative is a group of 37 financial institutions with $8.9 trillion of assets under management who have committed to eliminating deforestation from their portfolios by 2025. And they have set investor expectations aligned with the roadmap. There is pensions guidance for pension funds, who are the biggest group of asset owners. The how-to guide was informed by a working group of 12 pension funds to ensure it is both practical and scalable. There's the Deforestation-Free Investment Mandate for family offices and foundations. Private wealth has a history of philanthropic giving, especially for environmental causes. This guide ensures that giving isn't being undermined by investments that are funding deforestation. And then there's the due diligence guidance, setting out a recommended approach showing financial institutions how to identify, prevent, and mitigate the risks and impacts of deforestation, conversion, and associated human rights abuses. Today, financial institutions have more tools at their disposal than ever before to tackle the deforestation in their portfolios. It is a solvable crisis. There is no excuse for inaction.